Todd and Julie Chrisley start prison sentences on January 17th, 2023, and not short ones either. Todd has been sentenced to 12 long years of incarceration, and Julie has been sentenced to 7. The father and mom from the reality TV series Chrisley Knows Best were convicted last summer of tax evasion and bank fraud. The government had very harsh words for the Chrisleys in the memo that the government wrote about how long their sentences should be. Here's what the government said. The jury's unanimous verdict sets the record straight. Todd and Julie Chrisley are career swindlers who have made a living by jumping from one fraud scheme to another, lying to banks, stiffing vendors, and evading taxes at every corner. But the Chrisleys did not do everything wrong, and I want to talk about 5 things they did right on their way to prison. Hi everybody, it's Harvard lawyer Lee. Before we get into it, would you please do 2 things that would really help the channel? Like the video and subscribe. Now let's go. The first thing the Chrisleys did right is consider what to do for Chloe and Grayson, who are both minors. At sentencing, the Chrisleys asked the judge to stagger their sentences so that one of them could be at home to care for their minor children, Grayson, who's 16, and Chloe, who's 10. But the judge said no. She said the Chrisleys had not thought of the children when they committed the crimes, and besides, in most of the cases before her, there are children who are left behind when their parents are sentenced. Judge Eleanor Ross said, "It's heartbreaking, but it has to be burdened by the defendants." And the problems as Todd and Julie head off to prison are going to be significant, particularly for Chloe. Todd acknowledged that Chloe's birth mother has said she will try to regain custody now that Todd and Julie are going to prison. Chloe was adopted by Todd and Julie in 2016. She's actually their biological granddaughter and their daughter by adoption. Chloe's birth dad is Todd's son Kyle, who has struggled with addiction, but Todd and Kyle are estranged right now. Chloe's birth mom is Angela Johnson, and she gave up her parental rights in March of 2017, according to Todd. Todd and Julie did at least 2 things to help Chloe. First, they directed custody. They gave custody to their daughter Savannah so there would be someone to care for her. On Savannah's podcast, Unlocked, Savannah said she has custody of Chloe and also her 16-year-old brother, Grayson. And then secondly, Julie said on Savannah's podcast that Chloe is seeing therapists to help her deal with Todd's and with Julie's prison sentences. The second thing the Chrisleys did right as they were facing prison is that they pushed Savannah and Chase to set up their own businesses and find ways to make an income outside of the Chrisley television series. Back in 2019, just as Todd and Julie were being indicted, it clearly made sense for the Chrisley kids to develop their own sources of income. Todd tried to start a separate spin-off show for his kids, Chase and Savannah, and it had a decent 4-season run. The show was called Growing Up Chrisley, and Todd featured prominently on it. But the show was canceled in November of 2022 after Todd and Julie were convicted, probably because it did depend a lot on Todd. But both kids started other ventures that could make them money. Savannah started a makeup line called Sassy, and this year she premiered a podcast called Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley. For his part, Chase Chrisley started a high-end candle making company. The third thing the Chrisleys did correctly as they were facing prison is that they did what they could to push Savannah's and Chase's businesses and to increase their value, leveraging the Chrisley Knows Best show. Todd repeatedly mentioned the businesses on the show. Several of the episodes talked about Chase's interest in candles and that he started a candle business. Chase also posted and then deleted an image advertising Chase Chrisley Real Estate on his Instagram feed. So he may well be getting into the family business, which is real estate. They also did a show that involved Savannah launching her Sassy makeup line. And to promote her new podcast, both Todd and Julie Chrisley appeared on several of the episodes. And so did Chase and Grayson and Chase's wife, Emmy. Todd Chrisley also did a fourth thing right before he went to prison. He patched up his relationship with his daughter, Lindsay. It would have been nearly impossible to have done that from inside a prison, so it was very wise that he did what he could to mend the relationship before he left. And fifth, Todd Chrisley supposedly gave 16-year-old Grayson some more responsibility and presumably a healthy dose of parental advice to go along with it. Todd has run Grayson's social media accounts, but TV Shows Ace reports that Todd may have turned that responsibility over to Grayson. The bio used to say that Todd managed the page, but now it says the official Instagram of Grayson Chrisley. The magazine says that big sister Savannah Chrisley will probably have oversight, especially now that she says she's the legal guardian of Grayson. There's no question that being sentenced to prison for 12 years for Todd, 7 for Julie, is a life-changing event for the entire family. But they did do several things right to set their kids up for success, and hats off to them for that. You can follow me on Twitter at LawyerLeeW for breaking legal news.